G'day guys, back for another video. It's the next morning. Just picking up where we left off last night. Didn't really do much else, just test fitted the gearbox and see if we had to cut any more out. We will have to, but now we're on the way to town to go and get some sheet metal and some C-section and some RHS so we can start making up a new trans tunnel and some bracing support. So that'll be today, and then hopefully if we get far enough into that we might be able to start making some switch paneling. So we'll just duck into town real quick, get some stuff, and we'll come back and crack into it. Alright guys, we're back from town, got a few things, wasn't quite as lucky with our metal, was able to get the RHS or square tubing, so we'll be able to plan out our supports, but couldn't get the sheet metal. The metal place that was open, I only soldered in massive big sheets and I didn't need that much and I wouldn't have been able to cart it in the ute anyway. So I'm going to have to go and see one of the engineering companies in town throughout the week. We'll draw up some sketches of what size sheet metal I need, so that way I can just get it cut out and then I can just come back here and just tack it all into place and trim it to where I need it to be. But we got a few things while I was in town. Got myself a pair of earmuffs so I'm not going through bloody disposable earplugs whenever I'm grinding, and went to Woolies and got some reusable food containers so we can categorise and store all our nuts and bolts and not lose them. So now that we can't really do our trans tunnel to, this weekend, we're going to have to move on to something else. I was probably going to start on some engine harness wiring, start figuring out what I need out of the harness and cutting out what I don't need, so things like the cruise control stuff, figure out the auto trans wiring so we can bridge out neutral, so the ECU will think that the gearbox is in neutral or park and it's just free to rev that way. We'll probably have a look at that, might find something else that we can work on while we're going, and get some footage along the way for you. Let me know when it comes time to wiring up the car from scratch, so things like all my switches and my gauges and stuff like that. Let me know in the comments if you guys want some sort of like some wiring tips. I am an auto electrician apprentice, 4th year now, nearly finished. So if any of you guys struggle with your auto electrical stuff, soldering joins and things like that, I can show you some tips and tricks on how to do those simple things just to get your basics down. Some people might find it a bit boring. I find it quite relaxing actually, wiring something up from scratch. That's actually how I found my enthusiasm to start building the car again. At work I'm currently wiring up a rally car from scratch, an FCRX7, and it's been quite an experience now that I've got a bit of a taste of what I need to do when it comes to wiring up the car from scratch. Sort of got a bit of an idea of what I need to do, taking the ideas of what they wanted me to do with the wiring, and then I can sort of implement them and change them a bit for what I want. So that's been pretty fun. So now I'm pretty keen to get in and start wiring up this thing. So to start us off for today, might have a bit of a tidy up, start cleaning some shit out of the car that I've still got in here, start cleaning out some of the nuts and bolts and categorising them in our containers so we don't lose them, and have a bit of a tidy up of the workshop so that way we can start fresh today and make a bit more of a plan for what we're going to do now. change of plan. I've started having a bit of a clean up, and then I've ended up just making a hell of a lot more mess. So I started tidying up these supports here, trying to make them square, ready to weld in some RHS that'll come back and up and around. Taking a bit more out of the firewall to give the gearbox bell housing some clearance. Hammered the sound deadening away along the edge so we can clean it up with a wire wheel or a polishing disc to get ready for welding. But so far I'm just working on this brace that'll come across here. So I've cut out 2 bits of RHS and I'll jig them up so they're the right distance apart, and then figure out the piece that's got to go over the top, and I'll weld it up outside in a jig and then fit it in there so she'll be all nice and square. So we will weld them square and the right distance apart, and then start working on the loop that goes over the top. Guys, got our pieces cut out for our middle brace and support, so it's time to tack them together and make sure it's all good, and then we'll weld her up. Nearly got it all welded up. As you can see, I am no fabricator at all, but I think those welds will hold well enough once we clean them up a bit. Anyway, my camera's about to die, so I might call the video there. We'll pick back up in the morning. I think once I weld this up, I'll probably pack up, give this shed a good clean out with all my stuff, because Dad needs it tomorrow, needs the hoist tomorrow, so I'll clean all my shit out of here and pack up for the night, I reckon, and we'll continue on in the morning. Drop a comment for me if you want to see me do that auto electrical tips and tricks sort of video when it comes to wiring up the car. If you got any tips for me, like welding, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, and we'll catch you in the next video.